Netflix, you're the real MVP for this one. So finally, thanks to Netflix, we get to see Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. This is the first ever Godzilla film that's actually like animated, which I found kind of interesting since the character's been around since 1954. And they just now decided, hey, let's make an animated film about Godzilla. Not only is this the first animated Godzilla film, but apparently this is the first of a proposed trilogy of Godzilla films that are animated, which makes it even more awesome. I'm a sucker for Godzilla films, so the more the merrier between all these. Shin Godzilla last year, and then they're gonna do the new legendary ones with, you know, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and King Kong versus Godzilla in a couple more years. So the more Godzilla, the better. So let's just get right into the review for this one. The story for this actually is pretty interesting. It's set, you know, 2048 Earth, and, you know, the human race is pretty much against, you know, war on Godzilla. And they finally just had, like, enough, and they're just like, we're getting the heck out of here. So they all get in their ships and just leave Earth and just let Godzilla, you know, have it. And then, you know, they try to go to this other planet, you know, 20 years away, this 20-year journey with all their supplies, and get there, and it's not habitable. So then they're like, okay, well, I guess we'll just go back. Maybe he's not here anymore. And shocker, he's still around. And the other kicker is, apparently through all their space travel, they've been gone for 20,000 years. So the planet is just like completely different. It's ruins, you know, and Godzilla's also still around. So they're probably like, you know, damn it. Why? Now, for this being Godzilla's first ever animated film, I actually thought the animation was pretty good for the most part. It's actually kind of cool. They went with like this 3D animated cell kind of look for it, and it looks the coolest in the action scenes, but it can be kind of difficult when you're trying to figure out who's who, because a lot of the faces and the hairstyles, they look the same, and it doesn't help that a lot of the time they're wearing helmets, so you don't know what's going on, so it can get kind of confusing, you know, which character's who, except for like the main antagonist, and there's like one female character in like the whole movie, and you know who she is, obviously. Godzilla obviously looked the coolest. I mean, he looks kind of bulky, like the 2014 Godzilla, because, I mean, he is pretty bulky. He doesn't really move around that much in the movie. But he looks cool, he looks menacing, he looks scary. I mean, he's not as scary as Shin Godzilla, but, I mean, that's too scary. But he's pretty good in the movie. He looks awesome. You know, you can definitely see how huge he is when, you know, they're flying around in their ships trying to take him down. And, like, his, you know, atomic breath is awesome. So, you know, Godzilla is awesome. What a shock, I know. Now, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I kind of noticed a lot of similarities between the main character in this, Haru, versus Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, because they both, like, you know, both their parents were killed by a monster, and they both, you know, they look similar, actually, as well, and they want revenge on the monster, but the only difference is Eren Yeager can turn into a Titan, and this person does not turn into a giant monster to fight Godzilla, although that would be cool. But that does not happen. What's frustrating, though, is our main character, Haru, is pretty much the only character in the whole film that gets any type of character development or anything whatsoever. Because everybody else is just kind of just there for exposition purposes. Because pretty much the whole first, like, 2/3 of the movie is, like, exposition with, like, a sprinkled in action scene here and there. So, well, the first 35 especially are just all exposition. Because, I mean, they don't even get to the planet for the first 35 minutes or so. But yeah, I mean, they could have helped, you know, by spreading out some of that character development through everybody else. Honestly, though, I was kind of against the main character for a lot of the movie, because he wants to go back to Earth, you know, just because he has this personal vendetta against Godzilla, and he wants to kill Godzilla and take Earth back. But, I mean, there's kaiju everywhere. Godzilla's not dead when you get there. He's massive, and there's other monsters there, too. And you're losing men left and right, and you aren't, you know, gonna leave. Like, why don't you just, like, take your L and get on your ships and leave and go to a different planet? Like, Godzilla is wrecking everyone in this movie, and you're still trying to fight him. Like, just move on. Like, let it go. The third act of this film really does save it, in my opinion, because it is extremely entertaining to watch Godzilla fight this entire, like, military worth of people. It's unfortunate he doesn't fight another kaiju, but, I mean, they'll probably do that in the sequels, because they did set up the trilogy pretty well, especially with the ending for this one. The ending for this is definitely cliffhanger, but, I mean, it's worth it, and it's pretty good. I mean, the last, like, 10 minutes or so of this movie was just, like, WTF. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But it's just, it's such a weird ending, because, like, it kind of just messes with the lore of Godzilla to make their own kind of story. And I don't know how a lot of Godzilla fans are going to take it, but, I mean, I guess we'll see. Anyway, moving on to my score for the film, I'd have to give Godzilla Planet of the Monsters a B-. I'd say this is a solid start to these animated Godzilla films. I mean, other than, you know, it starts really slow and some weak character development here and there, It's an overall fun flick, especially if you're a Godzilla fan. You're gonna like it for some, aspects, especially Godzilla, obviously. But definitely check this one out. I mean, I'm definitely curious to see what they're gonna do with the other two Godzilla trilogy films, because I think the next one comes out in like May of this year. So I mean, we don't have to wait too long, unless like that's just when it comes out in Japan. They're not gonna do the dub/sub for a while. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you for checking out my review for Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. Feel free to leave a like. Comment your thoughts on the film. It comes out today. Let me know what you think of it. Hit that subscribe button. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.